my friends, welcome back to the kitchen today. My name is Shelly if you are new here, and today we are talking about pressure canning, like pressure canning 101. So yeah, if you have never pressure canned before, this is the video for you. So I have actually had some friends tell me that they have never pressure canned before and that they're actually kind of afraid to, that they've never used a pressure canner, and they kind of have these weird thoughts about maybe trying to use one and blowing the roof off their home, or you know, all those kinds of things. And I have to tell you, when I first learned to pressure can, I kind of had the same fear. And so I thought today would be a great day, since we are in the midst of preservation and canning season and all that kind of good stuff, that today would be a great day to just go over how to use the pressure canner. So I'm not going to really do any recipes or anything today, and I kind of have thought about it, and this actually may be a two-part video, because otherwise it probably would be really long in just trying to show you how to use a pressure canner and stuff like that. So I think we'll jump in and talk about all things pressure canning. So yeah, before we get started, a couple quick disclaimers. We are only doing the pressure canner today, not going to talk at all about water bath canning. We will do water bath canning in another video. And also today we are not talking about electric pressure canning. I do not own an electric pressure canner. I just own like a traditional pressure canner, and I have never used an electrical pressure canner before. I've read a lot about them, both good and bad, and so but I don't know anything really like about them because I've never used them before. If you do not own a pressure canner and you are interested in purchasing one, and you've thought maybe about buying an electrical one, I would encourage you to do some research on it, read about it, figure out, you know, if that's one that works for you or not works for you. But I just want to put that disclaimer out that I've never ever used an electrical one, so I can't speak to, you know, any thoughts, good or bad, of it, because I don't own one and I've never used one. So with that, let's get started on pressure canning. So I think what I'm going to do first is, for this first part of the video, is let's just talk about like how I got into pressure canning. So my grandma was a huge canner. She canned and preserved everything, and it was just part of who she was, and I loved being there with her when she did all those types of things. However, my mom was not much into stuff like that. And then by the time I actually was having a family of my own and ready to get into things like canning and preserving and all those kinds of things, my grandma had already passed away. And so I really didn't have anybody in my immediate family or my close circle of friends or anything like that to show me how to pressure can, or to even really can. And so I literally bought a book and kind of just dove into it feet first and was self-taught. So probably not the easiest way to learn, but I managed. So anyways, that was kind of one of the driving things that made me consider going ahead and doing this video, like a 101. So if you have never canned before, never pressure canned, this is going to be a great video for you, because we're just going to kind of go over all the basics and hopefully dispel a lot of fear that you might have if you've never canned before. So that's how I got into it. There are a lot of different types of manufacturers for canners. We are going to talk about mine specifically, but most canners, for the most part, they have very similar features, and so you just have to purchase which one looks like it'll be right for you. The other thing that I want to say is that don't be afraid of the price tag of a canner. If you were to be walking down the aisles at Walmart and walk down the aisle that had the pressure canners on there, I can honestly say you would probably have some some price tag sticker shock. Pressure canners can be very expensive. That's why I'm saying don't be afraid of the price tag. And the reason I would say this is because there is absolutely no reason to not purchase one secondhand. And what I mean by that is like thrift stores, estate sales, garage sale. There is no reason that you can't purchase one secondhand, and with just a few maintenance things that you can do to it, you would have a totally spruced up, ready to go, almost like new canner. These canners, for the most part, they are heavy duty. They are, I'm sorry if it's loud, Curtis and Louie, they are walking around the kitchen right now wanting to be little fur baby supervisors. So I'm hoping that it's not too noisy for you. These canners, they're made to withstand a lot. The canner that I have, I will definitely be passing along to my kids, and it will probably get passed along to my grandkids. They're made to be generational. And so there's not a reason to not purchase something secondhand if you can find it. I can honestly say I purchased mine brand new, and I purchased it many years ago brand new, but I also didn't have someone that was helping me learn how to can. So I didn't have anybody that was able to say to me, hey, don't purchase that brand new, let's go see if we can find one used, or I have one that I can give you, or anything like that. So don't feel obligated to need to go purchase one. There is not a reason that you can't find one. If you can find one at a thrift store or something like that and do some basic maintenance to it, we'll talk about the maintenance, but don't feel like you have to go out and spend a bunch of money to get a really expensive one. You don't. And so with that, let's go ahead and jump into some canning basics. We're going to talk about the canner itself right now. Again, we're not doing any recipes this particular video, just talking about the canner. So let me go ahead and get you kind of moved a little bit here so that you're closer to my canner. And let me hopefully move this down just a little bit here. All right, so this is my canner. And as you can see, it's huge. Weighs a ton. And it is made to withstand a lot. Obviously, it is a pressure canner, so it is made to withstand a lot of pressure. And therefore, it can take a lot of other things, you know, like a lot of washing and all those different types of things. So let's just talk about some of the basics that go. Like I had said, most canners, they have similar features to them. So you talk about the pot first. Move you over here and let you see my pot. So this is my pot. Inside my pot, you can see that it's got a lot of water lines in here from a lot of use. These bolts right here, these are how my pot secures the lid. My canner is made by American Canner. Or I'm sorry, not American Canner, I don't know what I'm saying, All American. And so this is just particularly the one that I purchased. It holds, I believe, 5 or 6 quart jars and I think 7 or 8 pint jars. So my canner came with the canner. It also came with the trivet that goes in the bottom. And my lid, and we'll go over the lid in just a minute, but this is just the basics. You can see how thick the lid or the pot itself is. It's super heavy duty metal, super thick. It has 1, 2, 3, sorry, I'm probably making you nauseous. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these bolts that flip up when I secure the lid. For the lid, Put you guys back over here so you can see a little bit better, and I can hold up the lid for you. All right, so for the lid, most of these lids are going to come with some type of similar features to this. So they are going to come with this dial here. The dial will tell you how much pressure is inside of the canner when the canning lid is closed and you've got it turned on and it's coming up to pressure. And so this little dial gauge here, it is pretty standard. You can see it starts off and it goes up to different pressures, and it's pounds of pressure. And it comes up, and the dial moves as the canner is coming up to pressure. Right here is a vent. This is where the steam comes out when the canner is coming up to pressure. These are the little locks, hinge locks. So when I set this down, I can turn it and these lock into place on the pot. When I'm getting ready to use my canner, one of the things that I do is I will look through my little venting hole right here. And this venting hole, you can't probably see it too good from the angle we're at. I don't know if you can or not, but this venting hole, I can look straight through and see light on the other side. And I want to make sure that I'm able to see light on the other side, because if I can't see light on the other side, that indicates that this vent right here is somehow clogged. And that's one of the very few things that could actually be a problem for you. If this vent is somehow clogged, and again, you can tell by looking through, if this vent is somehow clogged, the problem that is going to happen is that the pressure that's building up inside of your canner has nowhere to escape because the steam can't escape. And so whenever I'm getting ready to use my canner, the first thing that I do after I've kind of got the canner out and ready is I look through here to check and make sure that I can see through and see light on the other side, so that I know that my vent is not blocked, there's no clogs, there's no debris, everything is good to go for it. My particular canner does not have a plastic or a rubber rimmed seal to it. A lot of canners have a rubber seal to them. And that will be a quick and easy fix if you are buying a secondhand canner. A lot of times these rubber seals just need to be replaced, or you'll have a gasket that just needs to be replaced. Those are really inexpensive fixes. So if you're getting a canner secondhand, just check to see about the rubber sealing or a gasket on it that needs to be replaced. Inexpensive fixes, and then you have a canner that is quickly repurposed and ready to go for you. So when I'm getting ready to use my canner, after I've kind of checked it out, I've looked and made sure that it's all ready to go, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put the trivet in the bottom. So usually the trivet for me, I keep stored together. Oh, wait, I totally missed a piece of equipment that is super important to my particular canner, and that is my weight. So in my canner, I not only have my dial, but mine also is a weighted canner. So there are two different types of canners when you're talking about pressure canners. There are ones that just use the dial, and then there are ones that use the dial as well as a weight. The weight can come in all different types of shapes and things like that. For All American, the weight looks like this. And on this, you can see, hopefully, that there are numbers on here. 10, 15, and 5. And I will use the weight with the correct number depending on the pressure that I need for my correct level, for my correct altitude. We'll get into knowing what altitude you're at and what you need on the next video. But I know that I generally will can at about 10 to 11 based on my altitude. So this comes with, hopefully you can see that, there you go, with my All-American canner. So some canners have weights with them, some don't. When I get ready to put my weight on, you can see that there are some holes down here that align with the numbers. When I get ready to put my weight on, I just put it on over the vent like that. It just slips right on. So when I'm getting ready to use my canner, I put the trivet in the bottom, and I put water in depending on what the user manual says. Now, if you are using one that is repurposed or refurbished, I would strongly encourage you to go online and download the user manual. If you bought one new, make sure you save the user manual. If you are not able to find a user manual online, I would contact the manufacturer. Never go outside of the manufacturer's guidelines. The manufacturer's guidelines will tell you how much water to use in your canner. That will prevent you from having a canner go dry on you when you're canning. Dry canners, very unsafe, so you always want to make sure that you have the correct amount of water in there for however long of time that you're going to be canning. So when I'm prepping my canner to be able to get ready to do anything, I always inspect my lid first to make sure that it's in good shape. Make sure I have all of my equipment. I put my trivet in the bottom. I fill mine to the amount of water that my manufacturer recommends. For All-American, it is 2 inches. And then the last thing that I'm gonna do before I get ready to can is I take a little bit of oil and I put it around the rim of my canner, and I put it around the edge of my canner right here. And that just allows me to be able to go ahead and put my lid on and lock it with ease. And that way I don't have any when I'm trying to put it on and off. The last thing I'm going to show you is really quickly how to put the lid on, and then we're going to talk for just a second. On my lid is an arrow. Here's my arrow. Most canners are going to have something like this. This is telling me where to line my lid up on my pot. So there is this arrow on my lid, and my pot has a matching arrow. I want to make sure that I line the 2 arrows up when I'm putting the lid on, so that when I put the lid on and I turn it, it will safely lock down. So I'm going to put my lid on. I'm going to find the arrow on my lid, on my pot, wherever my arrow happens to be. Mine is right here for me. I'm going to line up my arrow, and then just simply turn it, and it locks into place. When I'm ready to use it, I actually will put my bolts up and turn them. We're going to get more into that tomorrow. I think for today we're going to stop the video here because it's starting to get a little bit long, and I'm sure that you're ready to process everything that we've talked about. So I think that that's about it for today. Part 2, we're going to actually use the canner. I'll show you how to actually get some stuff in there. We'll talk about some recipes. But for now, this will be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it's been useful for you. If so, hit the like button and smash the subscribe button. I would love for you to be part of my YouTube family. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can find out when part 2 comes out. Have a great day.